Hi guys, and welcome to the morning after. It is Wednesday morning and we are today discussing episodes 1 and 2 of Bachelor in Paradise season 4. I don't know about you guys, but 4 hours a week seems like a lot for Paradise. I have been struggling so far this season. I thought that it was going to be a little more like easy breezy, guilty pleasure feeling than it has been, and I thought that with the whole lawsuit drama that would get fleshed out more, and it's just kind of been disappointing, I'm sorry to say. I'll go in order. Let's see. Okay, so first I'll start with the good stuff, which is that the wedding thing with Carly and Evan was just lovely. The montage was really cute too, of all the Bachelor weddings. Maybe it's because I have my own wedding in a little over 3 weeks, but I just ate that stuff right up. It was really cute. I love Carly and Evan together. I thought they were adorable. It was funny how the whole montage did seem a little like, we have successful relationships, okay? Like, it just seemed really in your face. That said, I'm a sucker for this stuff, and I thought that it was pretty cute. My favorite was when Evan said he can't wait to grow old with Carly, and that, quote, she's going to be the cutest little old lady. So, what's not to like about them? Cute. Okay, so that's the entire first hour of last night, and then we get to this lawsuit saga, and keep in mind, for episode 1, they've been promising this, they've been sort of hyping it up. This is before it all happened, and then it skips to after it all happened. I was a little disappointed. I thought we were going to get a little more footage. I know obviously there's footage they can't share, but I just thought there was going to be like something that we couldn't find online, and as far as I could tell, other than the conversations with the contestants, there was nothing we were told that we could not have found online. We didn't get any kind of a play-by-play, any kind of detail what happened. They sort of just assumed that the viewers read everything there was to read about it, and it just sort of felt like, okay, why am I watching this? And then they talked to the contestants, and this is a little more interesting. I appreciate a lot what Diggy said about the long-term effects this would have on DeMario, especially since he was proven not guilty, and they did an investigation, he did nothing wrong, and it's kind of like, he's kind of screwed. Like, his online life is really going to be affected by this, and it's sort of, it sucks. I liked that he pointed that out. He made a point of that. And their expressions when Chris Harrison asks the race question, wow, this was really a powerful moment. No one wanted to say it, and you could tell that because no one wanted to say it, that, you know, I think it was finally Nick who said, yeah, and everyone then agreed, yeah, like no one wanted to be the first person to say it, but the fact that they were all like stumbling says, you know, it gives you the answer. So that was very interesting, I thought, but then it really became, sort of morphed into this like teacher-student segment. So it became like, Chris, like, what does consent mean to you? And like, what, you know, describe the producer-contestant relationship. And you guys have, anyone been following my recaps for a long time know that I love the producers. I think they're very good at their job, but you know, it's pretty incredible that so many contestants only have good things to say about the producers, even the ones who get, you know, the quote-unquote bad edit. So the alcohol thing I thought was interesting. You know, they emphasized Taylor and how she doesn't drink, and how no producer ever forced a drink on her. It's like, duh, you know, like, this really bugged me because it's like they were trying to get like some kind of like a thumbs up for not encouraging alcohol on the non-drinker. It's like, good for you, because everyone else does drink. And I'm not saying that they're shoving drinks in anyone's hands, but like, at least from my experience, they're, you know, it's, the alcohol is flowing. They're not encouraging you, but they're like, hey, do you want a glass of champagne? You know, it's always ready and available. And I'm not saying that should be held against them. I just thought it was funny that they were like really pushing the Taylor thing, the one non-drinker who of course has never been drinking on the show. It's like, she's not exactly representative of most of the contestants on the show. I have my own example when I said in casting that I never wanted to sing on the show, and that was completely respected. They never asked me to sing again until they did. And granted, that was, from what I understand, the Bachelor's request. He's the one that wanted to hear me sing. I truly believe that the producers would not have asked me to sing had he not stressed that. And so, and I mean, I've hung out with him in real life, and he is like that. He, will be like, oh, I want to hear you sing. So I really do believe that was him and other producers. So I'm not trashing them when I say that. I just thought it was sort of funny that they kept pushing the Taylor non-drinker thing, and it's like, okay. It's like, I should hope you're not pushing alcohol on the non-drinker. Okay, so we're back in Paradise now. And I think it's very interesting how much time the couples have spent together. Like, this has majorly impacted the entire season. Like, Christina and Dean, for example, I think could have been a season-long relationship, but now it seems like it's totally fizzled already before it's even happened. Before we got to see any of it, it's sort of like they spent like a solid 10 days together, and then they go back, and already, I kind of get the feeling that she's a little more into him than he is into her. I don't even think that that's a secret. And I thought it was funny when Alex was talking to Amanda. Andy, who I was watching this part with, said, wow, he's got some rough game. It was pretty painful to watch. In general, God, this was a boring episode. Oh yeah, Alex's takeaway, you can't be nice, you gotta be an asshole nowadays. Like, great, Alex. Like, way to be like introspective. It really bugged me how it's like, actually, maybe she just didn't like you. It has nothing to do with whether you're nice or an asshole. Yeah, boring episode. Sorry to say, other than the wedding stuff. At least the first episode had the promise of drama, and then this time it was sort of like built up throughout the entire wedding, and then it just skipped to after, and they didn't really show us anything that we didn't already know. And what blew my mind especially is how at the end of all this, at the end of 4 hours of Bachelor in Paradise, there's still no rose ceremony. The women still have the power. They still give out the roses. It's like the same thing. And so, oh man, I'm hoping next week like turns things around, because this is not for the faint of heart. Anyway, I'm curious to know what you guys think. As always, let me know in your comments. I always love to answer those questions. I have 2 questions for this one. It's from Sarah T. As a fellow Dean fan, I'd love to know how I feel about the way he's treating Christina and why I think he's so closed off. I'm getting from Dean heavy non-commitment. It's pretty run-of-the-mill. I really didn't like their conversation in one of those like cabana things where she's like, well, what do you want? Like, where's this going? Which I think is fair, because she has the power right now, and she is going to give away that power. So she wants to make sure that maybe, it's going to come back for her. He's going to give her his rose next week. And he's such the way he responded to her was really, I thought it was a little nasty. He's like, well, you can't just ask information and then like not give anything in return. It's like, well, she just asked you a question. If you answered the question, maybe then she would answer your question. It's like, it felt very manipulative to me. I was not into that. And I just got the overall feeling like, here, as I say in my Flare recap, which will come out shortly, if a guy ever says to a girl, I like you a lot, but if you have the opportunity to go on a date with someone else, I think you should take it so as not to miss out. That is code for, I want to be able to go on a date with another girl if she comes around, and I don't want to have to miss out. So I definitely, I had so much faith in them just yesterday, and now I'm like, I'm not so sure about that relationship anymore. Next, Laura H. asks, what do I think about the way Chris Harrison handled consent and the whole dialogue around the Corinne and Demario situation? I thought, I appreciate the gist of consent and like addressing what it means, but I also felt like it felt a little didactic to me. It felt like we were being taught a lesson, and they wanted to make sure that we knew that they knew what consent meant, and it just felt a little redundant. And also, like, the people who did not need to be answering these questions were the one answering the questions. I would have been interested to hear from Corinne what she thinks consent means, and it just felt like I said, it felt glossed over, the Corinne and Demario thing. It's like too much time was spent on something like consent, and not enough time was spent in talking about what actually happened between Demario and Corinne. I'm glad they addressed it. I thought they should address it. I thought they should have addressed it a little more thoroughly. It felt like like I said, they skipped over the meat and potatoes and then focused on other things with people that were not even necessarily involved. So Yeah, that's my opinion on that. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. And, oh wait, I have a comment from Barbara. Let's talk about Robbie's 12 abs, a collection of trunks in the hair. Yes, Robbie is a hoot. I think that he has gone into this wanting to show his sense of humor and that, you know, there's more to him. But I have to laugh at Raven's comment about the 12 abs and how no one should have more than 6 abs. I was dying at that. I thought that was really good. So yeah, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you here next Wednesday. I'll do one video recap for every week, so every 2 episodes, every 4 hours of Paradise, I will be recapping with a 1 video. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to read my Flair recap, which will come a little later today. And yeah, I'll see you here next week. Bye, guys.